What's up, man? It's been a week or two, man. It's been too long. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing tired, but also very good. I'm doing
You're doing tired? I like it. I like it, man. Let me put my headphones on, and we can kick things off here. I have you on the channel today talking about the top 10 cards in Clash Royale from Jax himself, the pro player, bridge spam extraordinaire. Here he goes, man. So we'll start the video off by giving the obligatory and well-deserved shout out to your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, everywhere that we can possibly find anything about Jax we'll have for you guys in the show notes below. Give Jax some love, guys. So Jax, we have a fearsome debate that we're gonna have, I think, on this video because you showed me your list, not in order, but I know your cards. And my #1 card in the game is not even on your list, dude. So let's start first let's start with 10. Let's work our way from 10 to 1, and then we will have the great debate after that.
Awesome. So the last time I did one of these ranking videos, it was very clear my bridge spam bias. So I'm going to try and do my best to explain my reasoning. That's not just like, oh, it counters me and I lose every time. So my number 10 card is Graveyard. And this is just one of the most solid win conditions. It's usually paired with Splash Yard, which is like a building, plus Baby Dragon, or with the freeze version. Both of them just love Splash. And because of its RNG, it's one of the most solid win conditions. It's usually going to get you damage, and it's a very counter-pushy win condition. So if you have a nice push with it, you can basically kill anything. Even Mother Witch is not as incredibly effective against it anymore.
I love it, man. I love Graveyard. I'm playing it all year, so obviously it's my cup of tea. So I agree with you there. Let's go on to number 9.
So number 9, I have the Log. I think it's just one of the most like versatile spells. Like it's used everywhere. It's 2 elixir. It has knockback, universal knockback. I'm not even sure if there's anything that doesn't get knocked back by it that it can hit. And it's just such a solid card. For 2 elixir, you can also get in some chip damage with it. There's really no point in not using it. Barbaro, I mean, it has the Barbarian, but it can only reach like halfway to the arena. I just think Log is like such a good card right now.
Okay, I can't argue with that either. I agree with you. I feel like there's a lot of Barbaro kind of going around. Not, I don't think it's overwhelming one way or the other, but I'm with you, man. I feel like I am handicapped every time that I use the Barbaro because, like, no, I want to hit that princess so bad or whatever the heck it is, and just not having that range. You do have the Barbarian, but not having the range kind of hurts. So I agree with you there. Let's go to number 8.
So this is the first of the champions, the Skeleton King. I think it is a top 10 card. Many might disagree with me. I think this might be a little controversial because, he's the most underwhelming champion, that's for sure, but he's still so good in my opinion. He synergizes really well with Swarm decks and gives Swarm decks an option to beat Splash craziness. Like, because you can have a tank now, and that tank doesn't have, you can like choose when you want to swarm them. It makes it so much easier, and it has such a wide radius. Spells are very ineffective against it, especially if he has a full charge, because like the Log, you have to play it so far back, so the first skeletons will get damage, or you have to like you have to log too early. I think it's just such a good card because how long it delays and how wide all the troops go.
I agree with you 100% on Skeleton King, man. Actually, we had I think it was Morton, the last ranking video that I had, and he put Skeleton King above every other card in the game, man. Like, he is massively high on Skeleton King. I've heard a few players too. We had a few other players on the channel, people who play Skeleton King. I mean, obviously they're biased similar to you and Pekka Bridge Spam, but people who play Skeleton King, dude, like they swear that he's the most broken card ever, like a built-in graveyard, dynamic there. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm gonna ability now, and then it's basically a 2 elixir graveyard.
Because the other 2 champions are being glorified as like so overpowered, but no one I think people aren't realizing that this card is so good too. And especially paired with the Skarmy.
Yes, because that's it, Okay, I have the Goblin Drill. The Drill. Forgot this card even existed. I certainly won't argue with him being on the list. I might even have him a little bit higher, so I will be controversial with you, my friend. Let's go on to number 7.
So number 7, I have the Royal Hogs, and the Royal Hogs are just like, they're a menace. Like, if you split them and ignore each of the 2 hogs, I think they do like 1,500 some damage to your tower. If you put them all 4 together, you can like defend them with like an Ewaz and a Ghost in my case, and still like have 500 damage or plus leak through. They're just really solid. solid. They have such good split lane, so they synergize with Swarm. Single lane, so they synergize more with Beatdown. And that Royal Hogs Recruits deck just perfectly fits them. And then you also have the Royal Hog Cycle going around. They also go really well with Earthquake because they can kill a building with an Earthquake in 2 seconds flat. So just one of the most solid win conditions right now, I think.
I have an impossible question for you about Royal Hogs, and it applies to a bunch of other cards as well. I'm assuming you won't have an answer because no one ever does when I ask this, right? But like, why is it that Royal Hogs are a card that's played a lot on top ladder, a lot in grand challenges, a lot, you know, in pro and tournaments and stuff like that, but it's not super popular mid ladder? Is it just because of like wizards and witches?
You need a little bit more skill to play that card because it has the split functionality. It has the, you know, you can put them all in one lane, but most of mid ladder runs like extra splash. Like they have splash everywhere, and you need the right synergy.
Every deck, my brother has the Valkyrie, the Mega Knight, and the Wizard. You're like, okay,
exactly.
Forget
How are
it,
you
man.
supposed to play Hogs in mid ladder? Like, it does not work.
Okay.
And they're usually like the faster cycle decks, so you also need to have a bit more micro skill to be able to pull it off. And like that's kind of like all of those concepts are something that you learn with more experience with the card. So you need a lot of experience with the card.
Okay, makes sense. Let's go to number 6.
So for number 6, I have the guards. So the guards, I can't remember what their buff was, but they are just such a solid
DPS.
defense.
Yeah, right? Was it? Yeah.
I think it was damage.
Yeah, was their damage went up, so okay, wow. I'm surprised you have guards this high, my friend.
I was surprised too, but I just like was looking through the cards and was like, dude, they're everywhere. And they have like their ability to surround units is very useful. They are just situated far enough apart so the Valkyrie can't hit them all, and like you can like really do a lot of things. You can pull anything, you can kill like multiple units with the guard sometimes, and the only real full counter to them is arrows. Like it's so hard to kill them with spells or with like special timings because you have to get through both of the stages. So you can like log and then maybe put something else to pierce through them like a magic archer. I just don't even know. Like they're just difficult to kill without arrows. They get a lot of value, and they have like really unique and small defensive interactions that kind of just like give them that edge up on other cards.
I'm picking up what you're putting down here about guards, Jax, but let me ask you this. My viewers out there, maybe they're playing, you know, a cycle deck with skeletons. Maybe they're playing a Skarmy in their deck. How would you sub in guards, like for a custom-made deck that my viewers are using? Like, are they just cool to sub in for skeletons and take the 2 extra elixir hit? Or, you know, like where could people kind of fit these guards in their decks? Because, you know, a lot of the popular decks going on right now or around, they don't really necessarily include guards, even though they're really good, and I agree with you, you know?
Well, first off, if you have a Goblin Gang, get that boy out of here.
Get the Goblin Gang out.
Logbait has not had a change like that in years, and they put in guards everywhere. Like every Goblin Gang deck that I've seen, like just every time I think of a Goblin Gang deck, I see it with guards in my head, and I'm like, that's way more popular.
Okay. So easy, low-hanging fruit.
With
so
goblins
and Goblin Gang out of here. Guards in.
Yeah, completely gone.
Got you.
Skeletons, they do have functionalities like a quick cycle card, so it depends on whether you want more defense or quicker cycle.
Makes sense. All right, let's go to number 5.
So number 5 is a card that I personally don't even agree with my own placement, but I just can't ignore it. It's the Bandit. The Bandit is broken. Her bug, where she goes, like you can put her in front of something and then when she dashes, she goes invisible. And like you can't, it retargets, and the bandit's just all of a sudden like, why is that bandit on my tower with no targeting? And it's got like, its bug when it goes invisible just means it like, it can just dash. It was already annoying to deal with because it would double dash and triple dash. Now it does that and retargets everything, and the tower will like forget it's alive when it dashes for a second, and it's just crazy.
Okay, so talk to me. I think I understand here. Actually, I'm lying. I do know about the bug with the bandit right now, but I get a lot of questions about it in my comments. So can you explain? I think you kind of did a good job there. Basically, she's being retargeted every time she goes into her dash. Is that the issue? Is it, kind of spell it out for us. What exactly is the bandit bug, and why is everybody so upset about it? Okay,
so the bandit bug basically means that when she dashes, she's now invincible and invisible. She basically becomes a royal ghost for like a hot second.
Okay.
And so what this means is when the tower is targeting the bandit, when the ghost goes invisible, you know how it retargets onto something else. It's now the exact same thing, except the bandit's only invisible for the time of her dash. So the reason why she gets hit by Prince is because normally the Prince can see her the whole time and he'll attack as soon as he can. But there's a slight hesitation now because he's like, wait, where the heck did you come from? I did not see you. And then he'll stab her at a charge and she takes the damage. And so this is why I don't like placing her this high, because on defense, as a bandit player in every deck, I feel it. Like the Princess, Valkyrie, just has so many more bad interactions on defense. But it's impossible to deny that if you have like a 1 HP bandit and she dashes and now is invisible and then doesn't get targeted, it's just absolutely insane. It gets you so much value.
Very, very high praise there for the bandit. I buy it. What do you have next?
Yeah, number 4, I have skeletons, and they're just the most versatile cycle unit. Like, they're insane. They can get you such positive trades with good placements. You can get, like, you can kill so many higher elixir units. They can buy you a lot more time than you'd think one elixir could. And I think players have just flushed out most of the best things to do with skeletons. And it's like, it makes it, like, it gets you so much value consistently. It's one of those cards where you're almost never going to play it and get punished for it, obviously, because it's so little elixir. But, like, it's just always going to do well for you. It's not just going to be like, oh, I just played them and they died. Yeah. Like, I got something out of it almost every time.
Totally agree there. I feel like Larry, you know, you could say this at so many different points in the game, but I feel like the little Larry, man, or the little Larrys, they're so valuable for 1 elixir, and they always kind of will be. So I agree with you there as well. All right, top 3. What do you have for us?
So I have the Lightning, and the Lightning is literally there because of the Archer Queen. Like, almost no other reason you'd want to be using Fireball or Poison in this meta, except that if you do, you're going to get absolutely manhandled by an Archer Queen. Like, she's just going to go absolutely crazy. And Lightning works really well with that Mega Knight Ram Rider deck that's everywhere. It's just like a perfect counter to the Archer Queen, because if they play her and then use the ability, you can even trade and damage on other units as well. It's just a very solid spell with Archer Queen being as good as she is.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there on Lightning. I'm surprised that you put it top 3, but at the same time, it's a compelling argument. And man, I just lost my last match in the global tournament to basically only because of Lightning. You know, I was playing like a splash yard with Bowler, and I forgot what the exact situation was, but it's like with Lightning, especially the first time you use it, even if the opponent thinks you might have it, so many decks are just absolutely neutralized. And once you lose a tower to Lightning value, you're kind of screwed. You know, it's hard to make that comeback. Exactly. So I totally agree with you. All right, 2 spots left. I can kind of guess what they might be here.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. So number 2 is the Golden Knight.
Okay.
And I think most people saw that coming. The Golden Knight, absolutely insane. The 9-second reload on his dash timer. I just maxed him out recently. I've been playing him like in almost every game since then. And just the ability to like pre-charge his dash where he's really fast, and like his inconsistency, you don't know one time or the next whether or not he's going to dash onto your tower if that was a fine placement. And like if they have a lot more of like a swarmy defense, then the Golden Knight can just go in and systematically assassinate everything. And that's such a huge part of like, that was such a huge part that was missing with just the Bandit in those decks. Like his ability to get in behind enemy lines, you know, like why is something taking out my zappies from near my tower? Like it just doesn't make any sense, and it's so good. And then it, of course, can redash again. Like you can just use it. If he's being tanked for, he goes invisible like the Bandit. If he's being tanked for by something else, you get it back and you can do it again. It's just crazy.
I noticed something on the abilities of champions, and the Golden Knight particularly. I want to know if you can confirm, or maybe this is just anecdotal. But I noticed when I was watching, like, I forgot who it was, but a really good player who I had on recently playing the Golden Knight, and he was like really early on using the ability, really early, you know, as opposed to like the Queen and maybe the Skeleton King in some situations where you really want to wait till like the last minute sometimes and use your ability. Is that something that you've experienced as well, or is that just that one characteristic of that one player?
So with me and the Golden Knight, I'm a little bit more nervous of using his ability immediately, because if I like trigger at the bridge, then my opponent just puts a Valkyrie up high and he's dead. But however, if I wait, then like they need to be more careful. And I also don't want to get King activated, because like normally what I'll do is if I know they have like skeletons or a swarm or literally anything in hand, I'll just wait and see if they'll pre-place it. And then if they do, I wait half a second and then trigger it. But like if it's on defense, you want to trigger their abilities, not the Skeleton King because this is so long, but like Archer Queen, if you trigger her ability at the beginning of a defense, you'll get it back by the time she walks up. Same with Golden Knight. Okay. So like if I have to defend something, I'll trigger early. If I don't, then I kind of just like wait, see what they're going to do, see if it's worth pulling the trigger, just letting him run out.
That makes perfect sense. I'm going to go on a massive limb here and say that maybe AQ is your number 1.
No, it's Elixir Golem. No, I'm kidding. It's Archer Queen.
Okay.
It's definitely the Archer Queen. I mean, this card just speaks for itself. Like, she goes invisible, so things stop caring about her. She triples her damage while invisible. And I remember doing the math. When she was first released, it was almost like if you let her go invisible, she could do like 3,200 damage. Like, that's like almost a whole tower at level 14. Just with the ability now that the nerf, I think it's like 2,600, which at level 14 can one-shot a knight. Like, the ability will kill a knight, almost kill a Valkyrie, so like 2 shots before you trigger and the Valkyrie's dead. Can almost kill E-Barbs, like it leaves one of them with like a third of its health and kills the other. It's absolutely insane what she can do.
Okay, well, I totally agree with you on the Queen. I would have Queen number 2. I guess there's a few cards here that I probably would have put on my list, but you can make the case either way. I think with most of these cards, I'm sure my viewers are like, what, you didn't put Lava Hound or whatever they have, you know?
The Mega Knight.
Yeah, the Mega Knight. I mean, like, people are going to have their opinions either way, but for me, it's shocking that my number 1 card, even higher than the Queen, would have been Tornado. So you tell me, Jax, why do you leave Tornado totally off the list? I think that NATO, let me just make my quick 10-second case for it. No card is more dynamic than Tornado, not just the splash synergy with, you know, baby dragons and bowlers and everything else in the world, E-Giant, you name it, but also, you know, activating King Towers, everything that card can do. Yeah, that's it. That's my case. So, you know, in a nutshell, why didn't you put Tornado in the top 10? Why am I wrong?
I'm being honest. I think it like you can make an absolutely crystal clear argument that it could have been top 5. I just don't think some of these cards are like the Tornado is better than. Like, I think maybe I should have put it on, but Tornado is just like, it can basically choose your opponent's placements for you, and it gives you a lot of outplay value there. But past that, there's just no reason to use it. Like, if your deck already has like a bunch of cheap cycle units which you can manipulate your opponent's cards with, like kiting and ice golem and skeletons and spirits and everything, I just don't feel like it's absolutely required. And because of the fact it only does like a zap's worth of damage, if you need damage and you don't need the ability to just pull everything into a splash unit, I feel like it's just not very valuable to put in. I think if you have a splash unit, it's a must. If you don't, it's a probably not. And
okay.
Yeah,
all right. Hey, we're gonna have to leave it to the viewers to duke it out here, because we're just gonna respectfully disagree on this one, man. I mean, I hear what you're saying, that, you know, especially for super high skill players, they can kite troops all over the map, all over the arena. Totally hear that. But for me, NATO is just so dynamic, man. I guess that's like, for lack of a better word, it's just everything changed when they added Tornado to the game. And I know this is not a list of the, you know, the most craziest card, the most game-changing cards ever added to the game. But to me, it's just like, wow, Tornado is just, I don't know. I'm just such a Tornado believer in terms of the card's power, and everything you can get out of that card in terms of the versatility for 3 Elixir is just insane to me. But hey, agree to disagree there. Otherwise, I think the list was really, really solid. I want to hear from my viewers, though, guys. What were we wrong on? What cards did we snub? What cards shouldn't have been on the list? Let us know your top 10 or top 5 in the comments below. And thumbs up other people that you agree, and maybe thumbs down what you disagree with. I don't think thumbs down even matters on comments, Jax. Does it matter anymore? I don't think it does. Or I don't think it ever matters. You can't even do it, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
The thumbs down button on comments has always been there, but it never does anything, I don't think. Maybe it subtracts them, I have no idea. Either way, Jax, we're not here to talk about thumbs up and thumbs downs, are we, man? You're here to thank you for coming on the channel. Appreciate it, man. Always a pleasure talking Clash with you.
Love to do it. It's always fun to come on.
All right, perfect time to go ahead and check out Jax. As I said in the beginning of the video, all his information is in the show notes below. Thank you for watching. A big shout out to Bren Chong, Clash Royale, and of course to GFUEL. Check out their information as well. Thank you, and as always, take care, guys.